there's an added variable to this whole possibility of a weird end times development. And that includes the beast system and aliens.
Speaking of the beast system, beast system.
Aliens. All right, this is the dailymail.co.uk. Headline, "The truth is down there." Harvard scientist wants to launch an investigation into meteor at bottom of the Pacific Ocean, which he believes is actually alien technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy trying to sell a book or something?
Controversial Harvard scientist says he wants to launch an investigation into the meteor that he believes is actually alien technology lying at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Last week, the U.S. Space Command confirmed that the meteor had hit Earth in January 2014. That hit Earth on January 14 did come from another solar system and is therefore the first known interstellar object. U.S. Space Command officials said that the meteor measuring just 1.5 feet across was indeed an interstellar object. Their confirmation means the famous interstellar object known as Oumuamua, discovered in 2017, is actually the second interstellar object to visit our solar system. Demoted. Cool. Kind of like Pluto.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like when Hillary didn't win the presidency.
Mm-hmm. But
she
Harvard,
no longer was the best case scenario. She could be the second female president.
Right. But Harvard physicist Avi Loeb claimed on Wednesday that the object is instead a piece of alien technology. Avi Loeb is an Israeli. Quote, "Our discovery of an interstellar meteor heralds a new research frontier," Loeb wrote in the debrief. "The fundamental question is whether any interstellar meteor might indicate a composition that is unambiguously artificial in origin. Better still, perhaps some technological components would survive the impact." He suggested scooping up the object from the bottom of the Pacific with a magnet in order to examine the artificial object, and added that retrieving the object would be an opportunity to fulfill a lifelong dream of getting his hands on alien technology. "My dream is to press some buttons on a functional piece of equipment that was manufactured outside of Earth."
Wow.
So, okay, it goes on and on talks about all this stuff, and great.
He's taking it very seriously. He's following his dreams, man. I love it. I love watching people follow their dreams.
He released a book in 2021, Extraterrestrial, the first sign of intelligent life beyond Earth, that argued that Oumuamua is not a comet or asteroid, but a light sail, a method of spacecraft propulsion. All right, so that's the story. There's not like a whole lot to it other than this guy is an Israeli guy, which you can connect it to, biblical prophecy in multiple ways. But this is fascinating because it's a part of a plot line to a show that I've seen in the past called The Travelers. Ever watched The Travelers? I think it was on Netflix or something. Basically, it's the year of 2449. This is a future, and humanity has collapsed, and the only way to save themselves, save humanity, is to travel back in time. It's part of the grand plan, they call it, and they are operating, these future people are operating this thing called the Protocol Omega, and the director, which is like a quantum AI or something that's telling them how to travel back into humans in the now and whatever, the whole deal.
Kind of like a quantum leap type of
Yes. Like when people died on Earth in this timeline, they got like replaced by the people from the future or whatever. Okay, so part of the plot line here, an asteroid designated Helios 685 collided with Earth. That's not the one I'm looking for. Meteor is what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. In 2068, this is the plot to Travelers. Robert Fraser discovers a new element from a meteorite being vital in superconductors that would eventually build the Director, which is the quantum AI authoritarian master plan person thing. So there you go. I thought that was interesting. And
so you think that's what's down there is the quantum computing
the
overlord?
vital piece for the superconductors that would eventually build a quantum AI? I don't know, but if it is, it'll be interesting that it would originate with an Israeli researcher or physicist. Could that be something that they would consider to be, some kind of ancient godlike technology that they put into the Ark of the Covenant and walk around with and say that this is some kind of ancient relic that represents the origin of humanity or whatever? I mean, that's not out of the question.
fits in with the trend of the soft disclosure that we've been seeing more 100%. And more recently, the increased pace of authorities admitting the possibility.
Right. And I just find it fascinating that in Revelation 13 here, the very first verse, it says, "Then I saw a beast with 10 horns and 7 heads rising out of the sea." It comes out of the ocean, Basil. And there's a lot of interpretive, methodology and commentary and stuff that suggests the sea here is in relationship to the many waters mentioned in Revelation 17, and it has to do with peoples, nations, places, tongues, just the world, basically, as an analogy. But if you look at the word, the Greek word there, thalassa, it just literally means the sea in contrast to land. So, I mean, it literally is talking about water, the ocean, whatever. So
the ocean.
It's just, I don't know, man. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe there isn't. But I find it
the great sea beast.
The sea beast, which, by the way, I forgot to do this story last episode. Let me just mention it quickly. We're not going to dive into it. But Israel adds Chinese RMB to central bank reserves for first time, cutting USD holdings. And based on my own personal eschatological studies, I think that the Bible teaches that the Mystery Babylon character in the book of Revelation is actually eschatological Jerusalem. So end times Jerusalem, not necessarily like Jerusalem right now, but end times Jerusalem. And part of what they do is or what the harlot of, the harlot does is fornicate with kings around the world as part of the sin that it commits. And so I find it interesting that in this time now, Israel, cuts USD holdings. America is the darling of money and guns for Israel, but now
the reason that Israel exists. If it wasn't for the U.S. And so to be fornicating now with the yuan.
With the yuan, exactly. Very interesting. So just thought I'd throw that in there. I know it's not part of the whole logic here from alien technology to Israel. Sure. Putting Chinese RMB on the balance sheet, but I think it's all connected. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.